Marijuana use increases violent behavior.
This is why I train in martial arts.
Where them kicks at? Where them hands? Where them holes? Where them throws? You know what I'm saying?
Some of you, I keep mentioning weed smoking on my channel because God said many of you smoke weed. That's why I keep mentioning. Y'all like, I had a commenter say, "Why you keep mentioning weeds?" Or did you ever smoke weed? No, I don't smoke weed. I ain't never smoked weed. I think personally, people that smoke weed, something wrong with you. Ain't no way I'm having nothing control me, friends. I am a soldier in the army of the Lord. What about you? Nothing shall control me. Nothing. I will have full faculty at all time. I will be in my cognitive mind because we are in a war. Because this is a war for your soul.
Oh, a shout out to Sister Sharon at Motivating You to Win. I'm not affiliated with her, but she's got a good channel, and I like what she said about weed. So, I'm glad I found this article. All I did was Google, and it came up. And this is a recent article. This is published in March 20th, 2016. A little more than 2 years ago before I made this video. So, when I talk about how bad marijuana can be for you, and I know I said in one comment I left on another channel, I think people are walking around with trace amounts of marijuana, well, not marijuana, trace amounts of drugs in their system, and it's making them act violent and they don't know it. They probably are. Here's some evidence from R. Douglas Fields, PhD. The New Brain. This is Psychology Today's website. I'm going to put a link to this below. I'm going to read part of this. New research published online in advance of print in the Journal of Psychological Medicine concludes that a continued use of cannabis causes violent behavior as a direct result of changes in brain function that are caused by smoking weed over many years. So in other words, you smoke a lot of weed over the years, you're going to become a more violent person. What does this have to do with martial arts? Those of us who are martial artists, we could become more violent, but more importantly, seeing as martial artists shouldn't be using weed in the first place, we're going to have to deal with these people who are lifelong pot smokers who may want to be more violent and may want to take that violence out on us or the people that we love.
This is why I train in martial arts.
Let's see. I wanted to scroll down here, yes, to near the end of the article. The people who were studied in this article, by the way, here we go. We are going to do this. I'm going to tell you this so that we can take race out of it. These subjects were in the Cambridge study in delinquent development, comprised of 411 boys who were born around 1953 and living in working class urban neighborhoods of London. 97% of them were Caucasian, and all of them were raised in two-parent households. So we can't blame the blacks. You can't blame the black woman. Okay, you can't blame the Latinos, the Asians, the natives. Okay, you can't say any of that other type of stuff. They use what we consider to be the standard. They use two-parent Caucasian households, and this was in London of all places. So you can't tell me it's degenerate American pop culture. It's none of that. This is strictly the effect of the drug. Let's continue reading. The researchers took into consideration other factors, including antisocial traits, as assessed by the antisocial personality scale, alcohol use, other drug use, cigarette smoking, mental illnesses, and family history. So they control for all that, and here's what they still found. Most of the participants never used cannabis, and they were never reported to have violent behavior. 38% of the participants did try cannabis at least once in their life. Most of them experimented with cannabis in their teens, but then stopped using it. However, 20% of the boys who started using pot by age 18 continued to use it through middle age. 1/5 of those who were pot smokers, 22%, reported violent behavior that began after beginning to use cannabis, whereas only 0.3% reported violence before using weed. Continued use of cannabis over the lifetime of the study was the strongest predictor of violent convictions even when the other factors that contribute to violent behavior were considered in the statistical analysis. In conclusion, the results show that continued cannabis use is associated with a 7-fold greater odds for subsequent commission of violent crimes. This level of risk is similar to the increased risk of lung cancer from smoking cigarettes over a similar duration, 40 years. The authors suggest that impairments in neurological circuits controlling behavior may underlie impulsive, violent behavior as a result of cannabis altering the normal neural functioning in the ventrolateral prefrontal cortex.
This is why I train in martial arts.
The prefrontal cortex is that part of the brain that governs reason, logic, and emotions, if I'm not mistaken. So in other words, weed makes people crazy. We are living in a culture that thinks it's okay to smoke weed. People are trying to smoke weed like, hey, at least I'm not doing opioids. It's just weed. People think that weed is less harmful than alcohol. A lot of people want to legalize weed. A lot of people are ignoring the fact that there are 2 strains of marijuana. You have your healing strain and you have your poisonous strain, and that they're mixing it together in various continents, mixing those 2 strains together to get various levels of weed potency. We even have this thing called gas, which is some type of synthetic marijuana that can send people to the hospital. Gas, K2, what's the other name for? I forgot the other names for it. So if we're going to live in a society where people think that weed smoking is cool, people even think that weed smoking is cute, they don't think it's a big deal, that means over time we're going to have more and more violent individuals. And how can you handle violent individuals who are violent towards you when you live in a society that doesn't think that you should carry a firearm to protect yourself? You can handle that with martial arts training. Now let's be clear here, because I remember years ago, I've only got what I consider to be 5 real fights, even though I actually have more. But the ones that I usually try to draw from, because it was like a wide variety of situations, even though it was only like 5. One of the guys was on something that I fought, and punching and kicking didn't do anything, but that leg sweep did. I swept him, and he hit his head on the concrete, the blacktop of the road. That was the only thing that stopped him from coming. Was an Ippon level throw where he landed flat on his back and hit his head, and it made him black out for a second. That took the fight out of him, because I was punching him and kicking him, and he felt nothing. It just bounced off him like he was Ben Grimm. So I had to let him pull me to the ground, and then I used my hand to sweep under his foot, and then he fell. It was the opening move from the form called June Goon. I put that under his ankle. If I remember, I will put a clip to that right here.
Turn to your left. Can you get the stance? Okay, back up.
So, it's not just me saying it. Marijuana is dangerous. It can lead to more violent behavior. So since more and more people are going to smoke it, more and more of us are going to have to prepare and take martial arts classes so that we can protect ourselves, sadly, from them without having to hurt them too bad or kill them. So, thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this with people who like to talk about the martial arts. And peace.